All right, so here we go. Let's kick it off. So our principal, Mr. Clevenger, is going to speak first, and then we're going to start.
Y entonces empezaremos.
We're going to start every meeting with shout outs because we start every meeting with shout outs, and then we'll move on to the agenda. So take it away, Mr. Clevenger.
Perfect. Well, I'd like to welcome everybody out this evening. We know that there are a lot of things you could be spending your time on, and we are super grateful that you are here with us. My name is Joseph Clevenger. I am the principal here at Rancho Buena Vista High School, and I absolutely love my job. I love our students. I love the staff, and I am super excited to share with you this evening one of the premier honors programs in all of San Diego County. We are in a very great place to raise a family. We have some great options for schools around us, but if you're looking for a world-class honors experience, my friends, I'm not just saying that because I'm the principal. They don't come any better than this. And this evening, you're going to get to see both what these programs produce and really the magic on why they work. And it ultimately comes down to our staff. When I tell people about our school, I tell them the foundation of Rancho Buena Vista High School is the way we take care of each other. Tonight, you're going to see how we take care of our students in a couple of unique ways. You're going to see the opportunities that we provide them. And these honors programs offer incredible right now opportunities as well as opening doors down the road. The part that I'm the most proud of with our honors program isn't just the opportunity. The incredible levels of support for our students is what inspires me about the educators you're going to hear from this evening. And I am just motivated and excited and pumped up for our young Longhorns to get to see what hard work and dedication and the willingness to take chances and risks results in. So thank you for being here. We are always here to help and support, but welcome to tonight's honors night. If you have questions about the AP program, the IB program, make sure you ask those questions tonight because you will not find a more qualified panel to answer them. So welcome, and as always, welcome.
All right, thanks, Mr. Clevenger. Let's get started. So our principal asked that we start every meeting with shout outs. So I have a few shout outs this evening. First, I want to thank the honors teachers throughout 9, 10, 11, and 12th grade. They work tremendously hard to prepare students and to keep the education meaningful and prepare them for their goals. All teachers really do, but since it's the honors night, a special shout out to the honors IB and AP teachers. And then I want to thank Adriana Rieger, who serves as the IB CAS Coordinator, and Steve Sanchez, who serves as the TOK teacher. Those are foundational elements of our IB program, and you'll hear more about that later. I want to thank Elsie Gary Simpson, shout her out for her incredible leadership this year. First time admin, but long time Longhorn, and she's been a tremendous asset. And then the tech guru at RBB is Mr. Arias, who's here tonight too. And then lastly, I want to thank all of my 10th grade honored students. I have said this to you guys in person when we meet on Zoom, but I am exceedingly proud of the way that you show up and you're committed and you stay in class every day, all year long. I know it's been hard, but I am super, super proud of you. So that's just my personal shout out to my own 10th grade honored students for this year. So there you go. Shout out to my 10th grade honor students. All right, let's get started. So tonight we're going to do a quick overview of the honors options that we have at RBB, and then we'll look at some sample schedules for grade 9 and grade 10 students. And then after that, if 9th grade parents want to and students want to leave the webinar, you are welcome to do so. If you want to stay and hear more about the IB program, you can. But after that, we're going to go into a deeper explanation of what the full diploma IB program is. And then at the end of the evening, there will be a survey that you can complete. And we will hear from former alumni, one who attends Vassar and one who attends UCLA. And then we'll hear from current IB students as well. So with that, let's get started. All right, so this information, and I've already kind of introduced these people, but this is just contact information. And again, we are recording this, so all of this information will be posted. But I am the honors coordinator at RBB. That's my email address. Steve Sanchez is the TOK teacher. Adriana Rieger is the CAS coordinator, and then Elsie Gary Simpson is the admin for honors contact. So here's basically the way that the structure of our honors program works at RBB. In ninth grade, students come in and they mostly take honors classes if they choose to. We don't force anybody into honors. We don't keep anybody out of honors. We don't have any barriers to access. You don't have to have a test to get in. You don't have to have a letter of recommendation from an eighth grade teacher. We pretty much have open access. So anyone who wants to take ninth grade honors English can take ninth grade honors English. If you want to take AP Hugs, that's AP Human Geography. We call it AP Hugs. If you want to take AP Human Geography, you can take AP Human Geography in the ninth grade. That's the one AP class that we offer in ninth grade. It is not a mandatory class. You don't have to take it to continue on with honors. It is just an option for ninth graders. And I would encourage ninth graders, who are interested and who want to challenge themselves to take that AP class in the ninth grade year. Primarily in ninth grade and even in 10th grade, what you will see if you were in and want to be involved in the honors program is mostly honors classes. So English 10 honors, lab bio honors, those classes have an honors designation. In 11th and 12th grade, the honors program switches to be IB classes and AP classes more exclusively. It doesn't mean that a 11th or 12th grader couldn't be taking an honors class, but most of the classes that 11th and 12th graders are taking, if they want to participate in our honors program, will be IB and AP classes. So again, you can see on this screen that honors classes, we start with honors classes, and then in 11th and 12th grade, we go into IB classes and maybe a full diploma program or an advanced placement opportunities to take. So basically, this slide just sums up what I said, is that primarily honors classes are taken in the ninth grade. Typically, we offer one ninth grade honors class. It is not required to be a full diploma student. And the reason why we would encourage students to take honors classes in ninth grade is because they provide, and even 10th grade, is because they provide a foundation of knowledge, skills, time management that will be beneficial in both college and for success in AP and IB classes. So here is some specific information about AP and IB. And remember, all of this information will be made available to you after the presentation. And if you have questions, I see that people are populating the Q&A, so that's perfect. You can also, I believe, if you are a participant, Mr. Arias, can you give me a thumbs up if they're a participant? Do they have access to chat as well? Yes, okay. So if you want to put things in Q&A, or if you want to put your questions in chat, that would be great. So here are some of the benefits in taking a IB, which stands for International Baccalaureate, and AP, which stands for Advanced Placement. These courses really allow students in high school to work on their time management skills. They create independent learners. They really develop strong writing, which prepares students for college and beyond. One of the reasons why we really stress students taking AP and IB classes in high school is the second bullet on the slide, and it is college level content, because if you take the exams, the external exams, the external AP exams and the external IB exams, you are getting college credit. But we offer you a lot of high school support. So it's not like being in college where you may be afraid to talk to the professor or go to office hours, or you don't know where to go for tutoring, and things like that happen when you're in college. At Rancho, we offer a tremendous amount of support for students who are challenging themselves with honors classes. We have a writing center, we have math lab, we have tutoring after school, we have CSF tutoring. We have all of these things. Some of these things exist when we are live and in person more than they have existed during this time of COVID. But there are always ways to get support. And then even if you found that you were stressed or your anxiety was increasing because you were taking honors classes. We have a lot of counselors, we have peer counselors, and so we also, help with those issues as well. So we want you to take these rigorous courses, but we still offer high school level support. I said already that you get possible college credit if you pass the optional external exams. At Rancho, we do not require students to take the exams. Some schools require you, if you're going to take the AP class, you have to take the exam. We don't do that. We encourage you to take the exam, but we do not require you to do it. It's not tied to your grade in the class in any way. So that's that. And then we have a bullet here. Is not a new bullet, but I think the second to the last bullet is an important new bullet. A lot of colleges are going away from looking at SAT and ACT as possible means of admission, which just means that the rigor of your students, or if you are a student watching this, the rigor of your course load, what your transcript says, will become more meaningful, right? So how many honors classes does our school have? And of those honors classes, how many have you taken? Those are the things that colleges, some of the factors that colleges will start to look at when they are determining who they are admitting to college. And so I think that your course load, the type of courses that you are taking will become increasingly important as they do away with AP as they do away with SAT tests and ACT tests as ways to get into college. Keep dropping those questions in chat, and then I will answer them. And then the last slide is just the slide where it says you should make the most of your free public education. So this is the education that you don't, right? You're not paying tuition. You're not paying a per unit fee for like you do in college. And so if you're going to spend 4 years in college, it seems like you should make the most of it by doing the best you can to prepare yourself for whatever your next steps are. That is not always honors classes for students, right? Not all students should take honors classes in high school, but for the overwhelming maybe majority of students, you should try maybe one AP or one honors or one IB class or more, right? I mean, it is an individual choice, but you should do the best you can to prepare yourself for your next steps, regardless of what they are, while you were in high school. And you should certainly have a plan as to what you are going to do when you leave high school. So these are the AP course offerings that we have at RBV. You can take, most of these are grade, like AP English language is offered in 11th grade. Right, environmental science is usually 11th graders or 12th graders take that. So again, some of these you don't take all of these classes, but these are just the classes that we offer, the AP courses, the advanced placement courses that we offer. We are usually, and we might have to make some difficult decisions in our AP course offerings this year, and we may have to, not, because of our master schedule is going to be increasingly tight for the next school year. So, some of these may or may not go, but these are generally the courses that we offer. So I know that, the math and the English and the science courses will be offered. Human geography will be offered. AP computer science, they may not be offered next year, but computer science principles will be offered. So those are some of the AP. IB courses, these are the IB courses that we currently offer. Students can only take IB courses in their 11th and 12th grade year. So if you are a sophomore, you could be signing up for these classes next year. If you are a freshman or an incoming 8th grader listening to this, then you have a couple years to go before you'll actually be taking IB courses. But again, a way to prepare is by taking the honors and advanced placement courses. So this is just a sample 9th and 10th grade schedule. So if you wanted to keep IB as an option, these are just, it is not the only path to IB or the only way to get into the IB full diploma program. But this is just a sample. This is just a sample. Dogs. We love dogs. So this is just a sample course schedule for people to take, for you to take a look at. And again, there are lots of ways you are not required to take AP Human Geography if you want to be a full diploma student, but we do recommend taking it. You could, you could take a world language in your ninth grade year. You don't have to take a world language, but we recommend it. Spanish for Spanish speakers too. You could also take, if you wanted to do art or drama or band or choir for 4 years, that would certainly be something that you could fit into your schedule. I do want to say that if you take a rigorous honors schedule for 4 years, you still have time to take electives. And you'll still, if you wanted to be in band, you may hear, or you may have a question, can I be in band for 4 years and still do the full diploma? And you will actually hear from a student later on who does just that. Can I play a sport and still be full diploma? And you will hear from students about those things. If you are a sophomore and you are listening to this and you're, concerned that you're not in chemistry honors or you're not in AP physics, and what does that mean? And oh my gosh, can I still be full IB? And did I make a mistake? And again, I'm going to say don't panic about any of those things. Don't panic about any of those things that, in almost every case, we can make an IB schedule work for you if you are interested in that. And we can certainly, if you aren't sure that you want to be full IB, but you just want to take rigorous courses to be as prepared as you can for college, we can certainly make sure that you are as prepared as you can be for the next, what happens when you leave high school. And some of you may be incoming 8th graders, and you may be just joining high school. And so, again, you'll have lots of years to decide what kind of academic path you want to be on at Rancho. And then I want to talk about some of the ways that we support students at RBB. And we have a great organization that is really kind of, I like to think of it as sort of the academic booster group. And they are just a group of parents. And they raise money to support our academic program and our students. They help organize and manage proctors for the IB and AP exams that happen in May. They offer scholarships to all college-bound students, whether or not a kid ever took an honors class or not. If you are a college-bound student, you are eligible to get a little bit of money from the patrons. Last year, they offered almost $10,000 in exam fee help for students who are taking these AP exams and IB exams. And then scholarships. I put their website, RBB patrons, you can contact them. Shireen Eberly is the president. They're always looking for volunteers and people to be involved. They are fantastic. They do the annual, almost annual. We had to cancel it this year. It's like the first time since World War II, not really, that's what people say, that we had to cancel the Ranch Review this year. But there's a little picture of last year, Mr. Clevenger doing a little dance at Ranch Review. So we do a talent show every year where the students have actual talent and the teachers just sort of, dance and are goofy. Although some of them have talent too, but not me. Holiday silent auction, restaurant fundraisers, and then they do graduation students. All of that, 100% of what they do goes back into students at RBB. So, they provide a lot of support for academics. So if you are worried about, as a parent, if you're worried, if you know that these exams are expensive and you were worried about how to pay for them, let me tell you that we have a patrons group that works tirelessly to make sure that their mission statement is that finances should never be a barrier to students' academic success. So they're great. So this is the part of the evening where I'm going to shift focus and I'm going to talk specifically about the IB program. If you are welcome to stay on and listen. It doesn't matter if you are a 7th grader or a 5th grader, or I guess if you are in college, if you want to stay and find out about RBB's IB program, you are welcome to stay and listen. A lot of this slideshow is geared for sophomores who are kind of making the decision as to whether or not they are interested in IB, but it doesn't hurt anybody to listen. So you are welcome to stay and listen. All are welcome to stay and listen, but sophomores are the ones who may have the most questions. Before I move on into this, let me see what's happening in the chat. And let me address anything that it looks like most of the questions in chat have already been answered. So yes, and there are. So I do see one about prerequisites for AP courses. We don't have a lot of prerequisites for AP courses. Sometimes in some of the courses, some of the science courses, we recommend that the student be at a certain level of math. So if the student is going to take AP chemistry, we recommend that they're in integrated 2 or integrated 2 with math analysis. We probably prefer that they're in integrated 2 with math analysis, but we would, certainly recommend that they, at that point in time, be in integrated 2. Just because the math that they're doing in an AP chemistry class will be similar, or they will need the skills that they will learn in integrated 2 to be able to do the math in AP chemistry. But it's not an absolute like hard and fast rule, right? We don't really we have tried at Rancho pretty strongly to remove any kind of prerequisite or absolute set in stone kind of prerequisite. So but for the success of the student, sometimes it is nice if they have had if they're at a certain level of math. All of those things can be discussed individually though with the counselor, and you can make the best decision for your students. And yes, we will be talking, yes, again, this is a IB presentation. So if we start the IB part of the presentation, we will be talking about all of the components of IB. So COK, extended essay, CAS, the exams, etc. All right. So here we go. So here's what you may need. You were given at the counselor presentations, and I think all of the counselor presentations have happened. You were given a course selection paper. If you have that course selection paper out, it might be handy. If you want to write down questions in case you forget them, although you're all putting them in chat, but if you want to write them down, you can have that. And then, have an open mind and a collaborative perspective. All right, so at the center of the IB program is the learner profile. It is these traits: inquirer, knowledgeable, thinker, communicator, principled, open-minded, caring, risk-taker, balanced, and reflective. Those are the guiding principles of IB. It is at the core. You'll see later on a diagram that represents the IB program and the IB philosophy. The IB differs from AP in that IB has a program, a philosophy, and a program we call full diploma that allows you to earn an IB diploma, and AP allows you just to take classes that play to your strengths. So if you are very strong in math and science, then you could go through our academic program at RBB and you could take calculus, physics, and chemistry all in advanced placement. But if you were not as strong in history or the humanities, then you wouldn't have to take honors classes in those. And that works really, really well for a lot of students. IB's philosophy is that you should push yourself. You should be an academic risk taker, and maybe you should take maybe you should take a class where you're out of your comfort zone, and that there's strength in that, and that there's things to be gained in that. So the IB philosophy sort of requires you to test in more areas if you're going to pursue the full diploma program. There aren't a lot of IB World schools. This statistic, the last time I updated it was, I think, last year. So there might be more world schools, and there might be more USA schools, but it is generally, as of, 3 years ago, these are the number of world schools. There are 915 IB schools in the United States. There are 109 schools in California, and we are one of 9 schools in San Diego County. And every year, about 160,000 diploma students take about 700,000 exams. So it's it's a lot, but actually, if you think about globally how many schools there are and how many high schools there are, it's if being an IB diploma student definitely distinguishes you. So this is a quotation about the IB program from somebody at Harvard University who talks about how IB builds the 21st century skills and just, what it means to be an IB student from a professor. Just so that I'm not the only one who thinks that IB colleges also value it as an educational cost. Okay, so I have 2 alumni. I believe they are both here. And one is Alyssa Rodriguez, who graduated last year. And then the other is Cesar Camacho, and he graduated, oh my goodness, from Rancho. I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago now, all the years. And so they're going to talk about where they are going to school. They're going to give you a little bit of perspective as to why when they were in high school, they chose to do full diploma. And then in college, what were the benefits of IB? IB is interesting in that you work pretty hard in high school and you don't always see the benefits of it. Sometimes you were like, why am I writing this essay right now? Why am I doing all these internal assessments? And then you go to college and you're kind of like, oh, I get it. I understand why I worked that hard in high school. And so it's not always the instant gratification. I mean, I think it's a lot of fun. I really do. But they're going to talk to you now. So, oh my God. Okay, sorry. I'm super excited. Who's going first, Alyssa? Or let's have Alyssa go first. Alyssa, you're up.
All right. Hi, my name is Alyssa, and I currently go to UCLA. And during high school, I honestly didn't know why I chose to go full IB. I did it very last minute. So when Miss Newman says that, you don't have to know ASAP, I mean, I chose fall semester of my junior year, I want to say, like very, very last minute. And it turned out great. It definitely gave me a sneak peek of what a rigorous course load entails. I mean, when I say college is way easier than anything I was doing last year, I swear it is so much easier. Benefits of IB definitely include just having a leg up to a lot of people that surround you in college, because I'll be in, whether it's like a writing class, a history class, or even math, there are kids that are asking very bizarre questions that seem really obvious. I mean, like even in my math class, someone's asking, what does the number sign mean? And the numbers, it is a calculus, like it literally means like a number, but it's really surprising to see how much I feel like I learned from the IB program, whether it's study skills or simply how to write an essay. Again, referencing college, I have never thought writing an essay was so easy until now. Like they literally grade so much harder in high school, which I shouldn't be saying with teachers who grade essays on a Zoom webinar, but the benefits are pretty endless here. Not just having a leg up over your peers and being able to set curves, etc. But you also just get a lot of benefits from the credits as well. Obviously, I've been able to get out of so many classes for my major such as foreign language or even just general education requirements, that as of right now, I would say I'm maybe a full quarter ahead, which is pretty good, especially as a freshman that's not really trying to be that far ahead. But yeah, IB is great. Obviously the college credit and the like tangible benefits are really nice to look at when you're a prospective IB student or a prospective IB candidate. But honestly, I think one of the things I love the most about it is looking at it now and thinking I am way smarter than some of these people, especially when going into UCLA. I really did not think that. I mean, I don't know, a little insecure, which is totally fine. It's a big school, but yeah, it's definitely given me a lot of confidence in my work, and I'm very grateful for the IB program.
All right, yay, thanks. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see both. Am I muted? It's so good to see both Alyssa and Cesar. It's awesome. Cesar, take it away.
All right, so I'm a junior at Vassar College, which is like a small private school in like New York, which is and yeah, that's where I'm going. And in terms of high school, I chose to do IB very late as well. Like I'm pretty sure I did it the fall of my junior year, and it was on a whim. It was by accident. I didn't even mean to join, but I'm really glad I did, because I like Alyssa said, it's a lot of work, and in the moment you're wondering like why, like what is this for? But then in terms of like my past 3 years here at school, I've like done way less. I don't think anything's matched the same level of like rigor that I had back then, but that might be because I'm like so prepared now for all the work I have. And in terms of like your classmates around you, it also deepens your bond with them, because in high school I feel like I was just going through the motions of like taking classes and trying to get like at least a B, you know. But taking IB really invigorated me to like be more active in like what I want to do, take more extracurricular activities, and just make an effort in trying to figure out what I want to do with my future. And that's really like carried over to college. I'm like trying to look for internships. I'm like taking part in like extracurricular activities that I wouldn't have like my sophomore year of high school. And so, although in the moment in high school you'll wonder why you're doing it, it really does pay off in like your career and in college, and you're going to be a much better student because of it. And yeah.
All right, that was again Cesar and Alyssa, awesome. Yay. And I think if anybody has specific questions for them, now would be the time, because I think, you know, they're both in college and they're joining from, you know, wherever they are in college. So I'm gonna let them go back to their lives. But if you have a specific question for one of them, or now would be the time to drop it in the chat. Otherwise, we're gonna thank them and let them. I've seen lots of questions, but nothing for them in particular. Casey Bradford is saying at Alyssa and Cesar, she's excited. All right, so Alyssa, it was so good to see you guys. Oh my gosh. Thank you both very much for
some questions coming in.
Oh, okay, here's one.
They can both see them, so.
Oh, you guys can see them. I don't need to read them to you. And you can read because you were in the IB program. So we know. All right.
Okay, there's one that's directed at, I feel like at me, because is in the Q&A section of what helped the most when getting into Vassar. And coincidentally, it was IB for me, like literally like that. I'm pretty sure they emailed me after the IB test saying like how, like about the effect that IB made me as like a better contender to them. And like that, so IB is my first answer. and mostly just taking part in extracurricular activities because they really embrace that here. And so that looks really good on your application. And so in terms of like what would make you look good to like the people that are looking at your application, IB is really good, and just doing more activities outside of just like your coursework is really good, which IB will do for you because you have to do that anyway. So.
I can speak a lot on social life and extracurriculars, I would say. During high school, I was, not to brag too much, but I was the president of 3 clubs while also being on the volleyball team. And one of the clubs being like, I was super involved in ASB, and that did not phase my IB experience. Mr. Sanchez was always super accommodating throughout volleyball season, obviously being in the fall, and TOK being a part of fall your senior year. So he was always there if I needed to leave early because I'd practice for a game, and he would be like, here's what you need to do for the next class. So it's really easy to manage, especially with sports, because the teachers are super, they're always there for you. They want you to succeed. And again, with social life, I was always able to maintain mine, I think, at least. I like to think that I was super active in school, spirit, and just being at everything, especially because I was in ASB, I had to be at everything. But even farther than high school, I mean, one of my best friends at UCLA was also an IB student in San Clemente, and that's one of the first things we like bonded over. So the social aspect of IB, and I'm close with the people who are in my IB program. I mean, to this day, a couple of them we're pretty tight still. So, I mean, not only are you able to maintain social life within your school, but once you move on, you meet a lot of people who are also in the program, and it's fun. So.
And then Cesar was in the band, correct? Cesar?
Oh, no, I was not in band.
I thought you, okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, you're good. I mean, I did do like I did do like Science Olympiad, and I forget what else I did. It was a long time ago. But no, but I do know that of the experience of my classmates, like in my year, I remember they were really accommodated, especially if they had to like go to a sports game or sporting event. And so I can like attest to that. And oh, okay. I can talk about having a job with IB. For me personally, like it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was easy, but it was definitely like possible in terms of like all my teachers were really like accommodating with like my workload. And I didn't do sports, so I'll let Alyssa speak to that. But in terms of having a job, I feel like it was really manageable because the teachers were understanding for like what you had to do.
And I think Alyssa already talked about she was able to manage volleyball, and Alyssa played volleyball for, I believe, all 4 years in high school. And then she was super involved in ASB, and and she actually completed her CAS. We haven't even talked about what CAS is, but she actually completed her CAS in her extended project in her junior year. That's if you've been on campus, some of you have not, and you've seen the trash cans that are painted in fun colors and things like that. That was Alyssa's CAS project. Anyway. Yes, they are both, somebody said they were both amazing. And yes, Alyssa and Cesar are both amazing. And I would say, the one thing I would say is that I think, and Cesar spoke to this, but Alyssa was saying college seemed super easy to her. And I would say college seemed super easy because she did everything she needed to do in high school to prepare herself for her next step, which was UCLA. Because I have heard kids come back from UCLA and say, oh my gosh, it's really hard. So, I think if you're doing what you need to do to prepare yourself for your next step, and if you have big goals, if you have UCLA as a goal or Vassar as a goal, if you have these, big kind of prestigious schools as a goal, then you need to do what you need to do to prepare yourself. And I don't even mean a goal right out of high school. You may spend 2 years at a community college and then you want to transfer to UCLA. So, it's all good, and all colleges are rigorous. Kids come back from Palomar and Maricosta and they say, it's challenging. So I think, the more you do in high school to prepare, you will see the benefits. Okay, if you have other questions for them, you can drop them in chat and then I can actually get them to their, I have their email addresses. And they'll I can ask them. Otherwise, I'm going to let them go and we're going to move on with the presentation. Bye guys, thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Love, love.
Thank you.
Here are the possibilities for participating in IB. So IB full diploma, which is what both Alyssa and Cesar participated in. And I would say it's the best that we have in terms of rigor and preparation for college at RBB. And then we have an IB certificate program, which is where you could just pick and choose certain IB classes that you wanted to take. And that is very similar to taking AP classes. So if you don't want to be full diploma, you could still take IB psychology, you could still take IB history of the Americas, you could still take IB English, you could still take IB biology. You don't have to do all of them, you can just pick and choose. But if you really want, kind of what I think is the best preparation for college that we offer at RBB, then that would be the diploma program. So I actually don't need to talk about the slide very much because Alyssa and Cesar did such a good job. But here are some things that that IB, the benefits of taking IB, and also the benefits of taking AP as well, because you can get some college credit, and that college credit, if you pass the exam, that college credit can allow you to save money in college. It can allow you to save early. It could allow you to take a second major. It could allow you to travel abroad. And let me say that you can travel abroad anytime in college without ever taking any AP or IB class. A lot of colleges offer travel abroad programs. Sometimes when you travel abroad, this happened to my niece. When she traveled abroad, all of the units that she took in college didn't transfer to the college that she was in. So I think it delayed her, or she had to take a summer class so she could still graduate on time. And with the extra units that you have from either being IB or being an AP student and getting those college credits, you could travel abroad and you don't have to worry about the college that you're traveling abroad to if those units are accepted by your college. And again, some of you are incoming 8th graders, so we're now talking about college, and that's a long way away, but here we go. It can allow you to take college classes at a slower pace because you have units, so it can allow you maybe to take classes at a slower pace. And I think, and again, they both spoke to this, but they felt like they were confident and capable students when they went to college, right? So I always say that I want the biggest adjustment to college for students. I want it to be the fact that they have to have a roommate, and not. I want the academic transfer, the learning curve for academics to be lower, and so they're worried about how do I negotiate a roommate, and that becomes the biggest thing that they're stressed about, and not necessarily the academic. Because if you're stressed about both, that can make you really tough. All right, so here is the diagram of IB that I promised earlier. And again, it starts with the learner profile, and then it leads into the 6 exams, right? So one in individuals, in society, mathematics, art, science, language, activities. So if you are going to be a full diploma student, you will take 6 exams in these 6 areas. So one in the arts, one in math, one in individuals and society. Think of that as like social studies. One in English, one in language acquisition. Think of that as a second language or a world language, and then one in the sciences. You will also write an extended essay. You will take a class called Theory of Knowledge, which they both spoke to, and you will complete something called Creativity Activities, which is 8 accumulated activities over the junior and senior year. IB is the full diploma program is a 2-year program. It starts in your junior year and it culminates in your senior year. So all of the exams, the extended essay, theory of knowledge, and CAS is all divided up over the 2 years. So let's get deeper into the 6 exams. So 3 exams are taken at the higher level. So 3 of the 6 exams are taken at the higher level, and those are completed in your senior year. And then 3 exams are taken at the standard level, and you can take 2 exams in your junior year. 2 standard level exams can be taken in your junior year if you choose. You do not have to take any exams in standard level exams for in your junior year. We recommend that you take some in your junior year because it's increased stress. But you will take a total of 6 exams. The higher level exams must be taken in your senior year, and then the standard level exams can be taken in your junior or senior year. Higher level exams are the culmination of 2 years worth of coursework. So if you were to take psychology at a higher level, you would take IB psychology the first year in your junior year and the second year in your senior year, and then you would test higher level in psychology at the end of your senior year. And you can do that with a variety of subjects. You can test biology, you can test Spanish, you do it in English, in history, you can do it in art, you can do it in band, you can do it in film, you can do it in dance. So there are a variety of higher level courses. So these are the courses that we offer. And again, all of this information, because I know it is a lot of information, all of this information will be given to you at the end. And there's a survey at the end, and you can ask any more questions, and you can continue to talk questions. But what you see highlighted in pink, those are the exams that we offer, that we test everybody in higher level. So everybody who is a full candidate takes the higher level language A English exam, and everybody takes the higher level history of the Americas exam. So those are 2 of your 6 exams, higher level English and higher level history. And then the rest, you get some choice within this. Again, you have to take an exam in each of the 6 areas. So you have to take an exam in each of these areas. So you can't not test in group 4, right? You have to take a science test. There is one, and I don't want to get too much in the weeds on this, but there is one exception, and that is an arts exam. Because most of our students go to school in the United States, and the United States is a really science-heavy colleges to look at sciences. IB will let, in the United States, they will let a student substitute in another exam for the arts exam. So you can take, if you wanted to take your year of art, if you already took your year of art in the 9th grade, and now you're not taking any more art because you want to take physics and chemistry or biology and physics, you can substitute in an IB exam for that group 6. You still have to take an art class for college. For A through G, you still have to take 1 year of art for college. But for the full diploma program, it doesn't have to be an IB art. It can be, and we have plenty of kids who do test in art. They take drama for all 4 years. They take visual arts. They're in art classes. They're in dance. They're in film, and they're in psychology, and so they can go to classes. Psychology is an art, so we can let them substitute psychology. And I know that's confusing, and I can explain all of that again. And then there are in addition to the 6 exams, there are 3 core components. One is an extended essay. So I want to say that if you are sitting in 8th grade and you are on this presentation, and you're looking at 4,000 word essay, I don't want that to discourage anyone from being an IB candidate. I wish that I had Alyssa and Cesar still here, because I would have asked them if they had to write a paper that was, 3,000 or 4,000 words yet, because you'll have to do it in college. So if you practice with it in high school, it's a really good thing. And you write it over the course of a year, right? You started in your junior year and you finished it in senior year, and we kind of sort of break it down. And then we have creativity, activity, and service, which is 150 hours. And the speaker will explain kind of what that is. And then we have the TOK class, which is the theory of knowledge class that all full diploma students take. It is required to be a full diploma candidate. You have to take the so the extended essay, they begin, you start the process in TOK, you choose a faculty advisor that is very similar to what you will do in college. So that is actually a nice working relationship as well. We try to do a little extensive boot camp, keep going, and it can be on any topic that you want to choose. And let me see if Mr. Sanchez has anything he'd like to add about extended essay and the process. Anything about extended essay? So Mr. Sanchez seems to be.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My internet I think dipped out there. What was that? Did we talk about the extended essay? Sorry. Yeah, we're just getting in the process now with the current juniors. We're starting that process now in March, right? And so they have about a year to go through that process, and they're well supported through it, and it's really an experience. Just wrapping up with the current group, the current seniors have just finished theirs. We've got a pretty good streamlined process on it, and you know, I'm sure if you asked Alyssa and Cesar to talk about the experience, like you said, that they would be able to say that it's one of the most applicable things to college life. So,
Yeah. And I do have a couple students who are going to talk about their journey, their current seniors who are going to talk about their extended essay, how they chose a topic and an advisor and things like that. So, you know, if you're a student and you're wondering about the process, they are going to speak to that directly. They're going to speak at the end of the presentation. I have 4 current full diploma students. Oh, I'm going to skip that because they're going to do it at the end. And so then the next part of CAS is creativity, activity, and service. And that's another core component of CAS. And Ms. Rieger is she's the CAS advisor, and so she's going to speak to that.
Okay, thank you. And I apologize, those were my dogs barking earlier. If anybody out there is in my class, you already know that it's a daily thing. Some reason Zoom starts, they bark, but those are mine. Hopefully they'll stay away for a few minutes. And one thing I wanted to add that isn't related to CAS was going back to the essay. Both my daughters were full IB diploma candidates. And my youngest, when she started college, one of the things she told me was it was so easy for her to write a long essay because she had to write so much in high school. So it really did help her when it was time to write a 1,000-word essay in college after she had just written 4,000 words. So it is helpful for a lot of students. And so for CAS, which is the creativity, activity, and service, it's the community service portion of the IB diploma. So basically, it always amazes me, a lot of students are already involved in a lot of activities. The only thing that CAS does is it just has them kind of break it down, think about what they've done, reflect on it. And students are, right now, the requirements are a little adjusted because some students are at home, some can't go out and volunteer anywhere. Like, for example, for this graduating class, they had to have 5 activities that they had to pick. And of those 5, one had to be outside of school. So you can be in a club You can be, if you're in band, that counts as an activity. If you are in a sport, that counts as an activity. If you volunteer Humane Society, that's an activity. It's basically anything where you consistently volunteer your time without getting paid. Okay, it's something you try and do for at least 3-4 months. Okay. And then outside of school, you can, again, Humane Society, you can volunteer in the soup kitchen every week. You can, if you like to teach little kids on the weekends at church, if you're that brave, that would also count. Okay. And then the other component of CAS is a long-term project, which is a project, takes a little longer to prepare for. It's like Ms. Newman mentioned with the painting on the trash cans at school. The project is something that they do in a group, and we've had in past years, we've had IB think tanks, we've had a film festival. We had, one year we had a talent show. The Special Olympics, we had it 2 years ago. Kids had a lot of fun. And then last year we couldn't have it because we left early. And this year we can't have it. So hoping next year we can get that back in. Okay. And then if you see, if you see the 150 hours, I think that's what it said, don't like consider that a reason not to join. I do not add up every single activity, every day you have any hours, all your hours. I don't do that. You will have a website that you will create, and you'll put all your activities on, you'll have summaries, and then at the end of the activity, do a reflection. And that's how I basically tell IB, yes, it completed the CAS component. Okay. And I guess if there are any, I don't know if I can answer questions in the chat, but if you have any questions, you can always email me at school, and I'd be happy to help you.
All right, I just want to, I've looked at some Q&A questions. So class, that there was a minimum GPA required for honors classes, and I would say there is, you have to pre-qualify for honors classes, and so the answer is no, you don't pre-qualify for honors classes. Again, sometimes with AP classes or IB classes, it's helpful if you're going to take calculus, it's probably helpful if you've been in integrated 3 with math analysis before you take calculus. Although there are even exceptions to that on occasion. If you are, if you want to take AP Spanish, it's probably better if you have taken Spanish 3, although there are even exceptions, to that, or at least Spanish for Spanish speakers 2. Actually, Spanish for Spanish speakers 2, I think, Ms. Rieger, if they complete Spanish for Spanish speakers 2, they go into AP Spanish after that.
Yes,
Yeah.
or
maybe Spanish 5, depending, right?
Yeah, Spanish literature.
So again, that's but there are no prerequisites. Usually we sometimes ask you to have a certain level of math if you're in a science class, which will just help you do the science that is required for that science class. And then somebody said, is there a minimum GPA to be in an honors program? And there is no minimum GPA to stay in an honors program. Your first priority, though, is to be able to graduate from high school. So again, in colleges, when they're looking at your transcripts, they don't accept D's for coursework. So colleges don't look at D's as a passing grade. So you want to make sure in whatever course that you are taking in high school, whether it be honors, AP, IB, or a regular college preparatory class, that you are passing that. For college, you need to pass that with a C or better. For a 4-year college, some community colleges accept D's, but if you're trying to get into a competitive program, even in a community college, like the nursing program at Palomar or something, they may look at your grades then as well. So, all right, it looks like, yay! It looks like some of our current IB students are coming in, so that's super fun. So we're going to talk about TOK. So Mr. Sanchez is the TOK teacher. This is the theory of knowledge course. This is one of the classes that is required. I think it is the only, no, other than history of America and English, this is the other class that is required. This is only for our full IB students though, so that's nice. It meets Mondays. It's met, because it's met virtually this year, it has not met from 2:45 to 6 p.m. But it normally, in a given year, it meets from approximately 2:45 to approximately 6 p.m. And then there's a couple things that kids do over the summer. And I don't know why I said that twice. Oh, I see why, because it starts in your second semester of your, if I remove the slide, it starts in second semester of your junior year, and it goes through first semester of your senior year. So second semester of junior year, first semester of your senior year. So it's a year-long course. It's just divided up differently. And it meets one day a week on Mondays from 2:45 to 6 p.m. And I can tell you that it is pretty much everybody's favorite IB class. And I say that, and I'm, I teach an IB class, so but it is everybody's favorite IB class, probably for a variety of reasons. One of them being, of course, but so I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Sanchez, and he is going to talk a little bit about theory of knowledge.
Yeah, it was funny. I noticed one of the questions on the chat earlier. It cracked me up because it said, "What does TOK actually mean?" And that's a question I ask myself like daily, because I don't know if I could even answer it, and I've taught it for about 10 years. But TOK is a very interesting component of the course, and it was really it's the one thing that usually scares people off. There's two things that scare people off on IB. One is that extended essay, that kind of scares people, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to write that. And the second thing isn't necessarily the class TOK, because it's a singular IB class. I try to make it user-friendly and student-friendly, but the key thing you saw on that first slide was the time that we meet, because of the parameters of our schedule, which we tried to battle and get that kind of changed, but hey, that's the reality that we work under. And I was really happy that Alyssa mentioned that in her presentation about that, I try to be very accommodating with the students, because we want them to be involved in our school. We want them to play sports and be in the band and do drama. I know we're going to have a student later, Niana, who was in band and drama, which I've never had to deal with before. But we are incredibly accommodating, because we don't want the fact that our schedule is unique because of different things that our school has determined to preclude anyone from participating. So we usually can make it, we can always make it something happen in a positive way. Now, getting to what we do in the class, it is really a unique class because there's a couple of things that make it unique. One, the students are kind of tripped out because I tell them that it's the only class where they will know less at the beginning than they knew they'll know less at the end than they did at the beginning. And they're like, well, why would I even take a class that would do that to me? And then when we do a few classes together, like, okay, now I realize that I don't know anything. And I have to kind of talk them off that ledge. You know a lot, but we'll figure it out. But really, it's a kind of a pseudo introduction into some philosophy and that kind of stuff. But most importantly, what it does is it gives the students a chance to reflect. For the first time these students that are in this program, they're go-getters, right? These are kids that choose to be part of this, and they're going 100 miles an hour at all times, right? Do they procrastinate from time to time? These are not, they're not perfect people, but although Alyssa's pretty close with her, Alyssa's just, she's on another level of organization and all that kind of stuff that just makes you feel bad as a person when you're around it. You see how organized she is. But in essence, these kids for the first time get a kind of chance to say, wait, what have I learned? What do I know? And because, they're just going so fast, they don't really get that chance. So I think that there's a good opportunity for do that. And so these are some of the funny kind of things that we get to debate in class. Actually, I just read an essay about how do you decide what knowledge to trust. The students, that was one of the topics for their TOK essays that they could write. And I was just actually helping a student just today because they wrote that question. So I was rereading their essay about that. And we talk about ethics. Ethics used to actually be a course that was taken by students, which we don't take anymore. And so we kind of infuse some of the ethics stuff in there. And then we kind of, reflect on all the different subjects. You see a question about history there and different things, and math. Is math discovered or invented, and those kind of things. So, and so I think that as a class, as an individual class, like Ms. Newman said, it's a fairly painless thing. And I think that's why the students embrace it, because, it doesn't have hours of homework. It doesn't have the typical types of demands that they face in their IB and AP courses. So I think they're kind of like, wait, but the level of thinking, and when we have to do stuff, their head hurts. Like, they're like, oh my goodness, like this is really hard to do. It's not like I don't have to read a 200-page book, but this is it's critical thinking that goes along with it. So I think it's a really cool component, and one of the things that, like I said, that I love is that it gives the students, it's the only class, and Ms. Newman said, yes, they all take IB History of the Americas in English, but it's the only one where they're all in it together. This is the one class where they're all together. And, and Cesar made one other really important point that I think he alluded to, that I know from knowing him, that this program created a social network for him, because Cesar's a great example of a student who kind of stumbled into the program. And I think if you would have asked him as a 10th grader, do I belong? Am I an AP or IB student? He might have said no. And now look at it. And I had another student who I just finished reading her extended essay, who through 10th grade had not taken one honors class at our school. So this is an important message for people listening still. She had not taken one honors class through her 10th grade year. And she was like the whole time, like, I don't think I belong here. And she just wrote a 15-page research paper about the Spanish flu from 100 years ago that was incredible. Like, and I'm like, you are an AP college student. And she just like got so much, she built up this. So, this is not an exclusive thing. This is available for everyone, but it takes time and effort to do that. Like I saw one other, my last point, I saw one other great question in the chat. Like, if you're a procrastinator, can you make it through IB? Yes, you can, but it's a challenge, and all the students battle with that. So please, if you have any questions about this, please email me at all times, because we would never want someone not to be a part of it, because like, oh my goodness, Monday after school, I have this and that and this and that. We can make it work. Cesar had a job. Alyssa played volleyball, did everything else. You got band, drama, all that stuff. So hopefully that keeps you motivated to be part of it.
All right, so those are the core components, right? So you have the TOK class, you have the extended essay, and you have the creativity, the CAS, the creativity, activity, and service, and then you have the 6 exams. If you're wondering at this point in time in the evening, one, how much longer is she going to talk at me? Not too much longer. And two, well, what courses would I be taking if I'm a sophomore and I might be interested in this? What would a schedule look like? And again, notice I put in purple, this is a sample schedule. You have options with an exclamation point. This is just a sample schedule. So in your junior year, right, what might you be taking? You would be taking AP English. That one's pretty locked in. That one may not be optional. You would be taking AP US History. That one, again, may not be optional, because that is the first year of your higher level history class and your higher level English class. So remember, all higher levels are 2 years. And because we test everybody in English and everybody in history, you're kind of locked into those classes. But from there on out, you then have options. So you could be an integrated 3, or you could be an integrated 3 with math analysis. And you, again, don't think, or you could even be an AP calculus I guess you could be an AP calculus as a sophomore. Is that possible? Maybe, or you are all ready for AP calculus. You're ready for AP calculus as a junior. And that's fine. And if you're not strong in math, again, you can take integrated 3 and still be a full diploma student. So you don't have to be thinking that, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm going to be able to take AP calculus to be an IB student. You do have to test in a math. We test everybody in a math, right? And you have to take 6 exams in each subject. So you can't get out of math, but we do have math options. And then language, right? Spanish for Spanish speakers too, or you could take AP Spanish. If you're in French this year, you could take French next year, I believe. And then AP Bio, AP Chem, AP Physics, or IB Design are your kind of science options. Again, are there other options? If you're like, I really want to take AP Environmental Science, what does that mean? That just means you can take AP Environmental Science, and it just means that we have to have a conversation. A lot of this, we have to have a conversation, and that's totally fine. You could play a sport, you could be in physical education, you could take an IB art, the IB drama, IB dance, IB film, IB music, it could be IB psychology, it could be an additional science course. You have options. And then if you wanted to take an optional 7th period, maybe you've been in AVID, maybe you're already in AVID 7th period and you want to continue in AVID. I think AVID it's great, and I think it's a nice complement to our IB program. So I am a supporter of that. So at this point in time, I am going to have the seniors. Let me see. At this point in time, I am going to have the seniors who are currently full IB students come and talk about their experience. So you are going to hear from Sophia, Jed, Tiara, and Niana, and they're going to introduce themselves, and then they're going to talk. I believe that Sophia and Jed are going to talk about TOK, and then Jed and Niana are going to talk about extended essay. Tiara and Niana are going to talk about CAS, and then an overview of exams is going to be Tiara and Niana. Let's start with extended essay, because that seems to be what I am seeing. Do we take? I'll check chat while you guys are talking, but let's start with extended essay, because that one seemed to be one of the things I was seeing in question. So that would be Jed and Niana. And I'll just choose Niana. You can go first. Is Niana here? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Niana.
Hi, I'm Niana Russell. For the extended essay, I chose, my central question was, how do Lorraine Hansberry and Alice Walker differ in their presentation of Black women? For this, I kind of wanted to write something that kind of implements my experience as a Black woman in America, and also, you know, I have a love for reading, so I knew I wanted to do it somewhat on literature. It changed because at first it was theater, and then it shifts and it changes because you're trying to find scholarly research and like articles that will support different paths. So it did shift a lot, and it's normal to shift. It's normal for your central idea to just kind of change a little bit. So yeah, when I started, it seemed like a lot. It seems like when you hear the 4,000 words, you're like, okay, this is going to be a drag. It's going to be a long time. It's going to be a lot of work. And really, my biggest problem was actually cutting down words, because when you choose something that you love and you choose something you're really passionate about and you start writing, you feel like you want to write all these details about it. You have a lot of paths you can go. So it was actually the difficulty was cutting it down. I had a lot of fun writing it. Not all the time. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say all the time it wasn't fun. But I will say, for the most part, and now that I think on Friday, we're finally wrapping up and it's due. I look back on it and reading it. I'm very proud of it. And I think I started from the summer writing on it, and I've just been kind of working on it and revising it the past several months, and I feel like I'm ready to send it out, and I'm really proud of it. And I actually do think it was a really good experience.
All right. Thanks, Deanna. Deanna's great. I was her advisor, and she was fantastic. And now we're going to hear from Jed about his experience with extended ed. Is Jed here?
I didn't see him in the attendees list, so.
Okay, so we will not be hearing from Jed about his experience from extended essay. Maybe. Someone who is who is an IB senior now, if you want to text him and just see, maybe he's having internet issues or connectivity issues. So we'll go to, let's go to CAS. Actually, no, let's go to an overview of just exams and kind of the program and why you chose to do it. And again, that we're going to hear from Tiara and Niana. We'll start with Tiara. Tiara's got a great story.
Hello, my name is Tiara Mojeva, and I got into TOK because in 10th and 11th grade, basically my best friends were teachers, and they would always tell me about TOK, AVID, all these classes and resources that I could take so I could improve both my English and my academic, balance and all that. And I was in the fence about TOK at first. And when I started talking about it with my family, not my nuclear family, but my aunts, uncles, and all that, some of them told me that I wouldn't be able to do it because I was still sort of learning English because I came from Mexico when I was just 13 years old, and I was still a little not great with English. And they told me I couldn't do it because it would be just too hard for me and I was just gonna drop out, right? And sometimes I would say, yeah, maybe they're right, but somehow just my teachers and they just they encouraged me to actually do it. And here I am, I'm a senior and I'm almost gonna graduate, and I went through the program and I'm doing really good. And I would do it all over again if I could. There's no regrets. I learned so much from TOK, from CAS, the extended essay. I was a procrastinator and I did it. Well, I still am, but I'm doing it, And if you're worried about, if you look into the IB student, IB learner profile, and you look at all these words, balanced, knowledgeable, reflective, and you say, I don't even know if I am reflective. What does it even mean to be knowledgeable, right? I think you should just go for it. And there's this word called risk taker in the IB learner profile. And I feel like that's the one that I resonate with the most. And it just takes that step to be a risk taker and go for it. And then as you go, you will be balanced. You will become an inquirer. You'll be knowledgeable. You'll be all those things the IB learner profile has in it. And that's why I think IB is so worth it. IB is, it's really, it's not just about the academics, it's also about the experience, what you learn from it, the skills that you get. And I think if you go for it, you will love it, just like I did. And
Oh. She might
Frozen.
she might have frozen, but she ended on a great note. Is she back? She's back.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I was saying that I was doing my CAS website, and that was like my favorite part of the IB curriculum because I love doing community service, and I felt like in the website I could demonstrate that. And I also have some hobbies like art and all those things, and I could just like put it all together in a website, just show what I've accomplished and show how much I contributed to my community. And that was just like my favorite part of the IB curriculum, the CAS profile.
Yay. Okay. I think Neon is also going to talk about CAS and an overview of like kind of why she chose IB and things like that.
I think that when I started, so I was kind of doing everything. Like my sophomore year and coming to my junior year, I was doing a lot. I was an avid STEM club. I was in a STEM club. I was in band. I was in drama. I was doing a lot of stuff, and I think hearing about the IB program, I was like, there's no way I'm adding. There's no way I'm doing more. But then I think I ended up choosing it because I like challenges. I'm very competitive, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for this, and I'm gonna do my best. And I do think it was really worth it. CAS for me was pretty. It got harder this year because a lot of the clubs I was in kind of fell off because of the pandemic, and I had to choose different things, which kind of went into the risk taker portion because I'm not good at chess at all. I was like, I'm gonna do chess club because why not? And I had been writing a book, and I was like, well, I can do that for an activity too. And of course, I'm still doing band and drama and Avid Club. So CAS it's stressful a little bit. It's a little stressful, but you're ultimately doing these things like activities, and there's so much room for you to choose which direction you're going to go with it. Like there's a lot of different activities you can do that kind of fit you. For me, I wanted to learn how to do chess better, so I kind of went into that, and that counted as an activity for my CAS. So yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much. And now I believe Sophie is here and she's going to talk about TOK. And Tiara and Neon, if you guys want to add anything about TOK, you're welcome to always chime in with your thoughts and opinions. But Sophie, take it away.
Okay, yeah, so like Ms. Newman said earlier, TOK was definitely my favorite IB class. And it's an interesting class because like a lot of it is about like discussion, and a lot of it is just like you're approaching a topic and you do like background reading and like information about like the areas of knowledge and ways of knowing. But a lot of it is like kind of synthesizing your own like thoughts about it and like ideas related to it. And honestly, that's why I think it is like such a great experience. And I really wish that like everyone would take that class in high school, because like I think it really helps with just like developing your own critical thinking skills and just like ability to like connect with the things you learn about and like question information you encounter just in the world. Like yeah. And then working on the project and the essay that you eventually do in the class was also interesting because like for the TOK essay, which is it's not that bad or that long, but like it involves a lot of just formulating like with your own personal experiences or things you've heard about in relation to like a question about knowledge. I think that was like a really interesting experience for me because like it felt really difficult to get started, but after you get ideas, it ends up like just kind of snowballing into something that you like and you're proud of. And it's just a good opportunity. And like, I think it's a very good thing to do and a class to take just because of, like you learn a lot, like more than you expect to learn, even though you end up questioning more, like Mr. Sanchez said, you learn a lot through it. So yeah.
All right. Tiara or Niana, do you guys have things you want to add about TOK? You can give me thumbs up if you want to add, and then you can unmute. Okay, Niana.
I love TOK. I feel like everyone in that class, all of us were kind of like going through it because everyone's an IB program in that class. So everyone was just kind of going through it. So it felt like kind of like a community of all of us just doing our best in the program. And TOK specifically, like I loved that class. The movies we watched were really interesting. Mr. Sanchez is always very energetic about everything, and you're just, even if you're not in the mood to be passionate about whatever you're talking about that day, Mr. Sanchez will get you to be super excited. So I love TOK. And I do think it caused, especially the project was fun. yeah, I love TOK.
Kiara, do you want to add something about TOK?
Yeah, I also love TOK. It was a really interesting class, and I never really thought about the things that Mr. Sanchez taught us. Question your knowledge. Like at first, I was like, how can I even do that? How can you question knowledge if you know it? But then I discovered that it's not like that. It's more complicated than it is. And then the project at the end really made my head hurt. But at the end, I really understood that I really don't know nothing. And I know it sounds difficult and crazy right now, but once you learn it, quote, you'll see what it is all about. And I think it's gonna be your favorite class too if you take it.
All right, so thank you guys so much for coming and sharing your idea. I seriously, it makes me, I want students, all students at Rancho, honors or not, to be proud of the things that they do here. I love that all three of them were talking about the things that they were proud of. I was proud of my extended essay. I was proud of this. I like that they're proud of their academic work. I want students to be proud of what they do on the, in athletics and in the arts and things like that. I just think it's great. But I also want them to be proud of the papers that they write, like being proud of 4,000 word essays. That's something. And again, as their advisor, I fully said you need to keep this essay because you're going to be able to recycle this idea in your college classes. Like it's got, and like I think that helps as well. All right, so that is if you have additional comments or questions. The only other slides that I have right now are just some statistics about how graduating from a four-year college is increased if you are like a full IB student, or even if you just take some IB classes. Can you graduate within 6 years? So we just have some research on the benefits as far as getting through college, a four-year university within 6 years, which seems weird because you're like, it's a four-year university. Why wouldn't we graduate in 4 years? And a lot of students do graduate in 4. Colleges look at graduation rates in a 6-year cycle. If you graduate in 6 years, they're kind of looking at that cycle. Some of it has to do with how you get, like when you can take classes and when classes are offered and things like that. So there are just 2 slides that will be available to you in this presentation that is about graduating within 4 and 6 years. So the first slide here is about 4 years, public or private university. This is a DP cohort, so those would be diploma students, and then this would be national students, so these would be students that weren't in the diploma program, and the percent that graduate in 4 years, and the percent that graduate in 6 years. That is it. And then there's a quotation about how it is important to one of the traits that is most essential for survival is the idea to take something that is adversity and transform it into an enjoyable challenge. And I almost deleted this slide. And then I thought, you know what? I think we have everyone, whether you've been in an honored class or not, if you have been in school in the last year, we have hopefully been able to transform adversity into at least a somewhat enjoyable challenge. Because it has been challenging to learn during this time. So again, I have a lot of respect for what all students have done, but particularly students who have undertaken CAS and extended essay and TOK and AP classes and honors classes and been successful in that and kept their eye on the ball, or kept their focus on the idea that academics and schooling and what you're going to do after high school still matters. That's it. That is all. I want to thank everybody who came and participated. You can leave. You can also stay and I can answer any questions. So can anybody who is here answer any questions?
I'll drop the form in the chat though. So
Oh, yes. Oh, what? Sorry. Yes, don't leave yet. There is a survey that I would love you all to take. And will that survey be available to the people who are watching this from?
We can post it with the video, so.
Okay, we will post this survey with the video. So here is a survey about IB, and thank you for reminding me there. And so, yes, please complete this survey, and then we'll get back to you. If you can. It looks like, again, I have, there's a lot of very strong people who are answering the question. So it does look like all of the questions, again, the IB exams they look a lot different than AP exams. So IB exams have multiple components: an internal assessment and external assessment. Some of it is seated and on demand. But it's always spread out over multiple days. So IB exams are always 2-day thing. You take paper 1 on one day, you have about 2 hours or so to do that. You take paper 2 on another day. Sometimes in the sciences, you take paper 1 and paper 2 on the same day, and then you come back and you do paper 3, but they're all spread out over multiple days. And then there's always an internally assessed component to them as well.
Hey, Jed, there he is.
My internet was dying.
Well, Jed is here. There's 14 of you left, and Jed can talk about his experiences in TOK and his experiences in with the extended essay. So Jed, yay, you get to say.
I made it. Yeah, Zoom
Yay.
kind of, I mean, not Zoom, but my internet kind of sucks. So, honestly, TOK was a transformative experience, and I'm just saying that out of exaggeration. It is literally something that will make you reconsider what you know. And I don't know, Mrs. Sanchez gave his pitch already earlier, but it is a fact. It is a fact. Like every week, like an example, like what we do every week is we hold like TOK moments where you kind of reflect back. By the way, IB really emphasizes the need to be reflective. So you get to reflect back on like something that happened in your week, and you think back and you ask questions, or even before that, you just think about like what you learned. Like because every week, honestly, you learn something new. You just don't know it. Maybe like even after your Zoom class, even outside of your Zoom class, you're learning something new. So TOK like force, not, I mean, I don't say forces, but it encourages you to like rethink those moments and like find something out of it, and bring it up in class and talk about it. Mrs. Sanchez, especially like Mrs. Angela, we talk about even some TOK moments that people have, because they're really like meaningful, and but I would say it's a worth the experience. So if you want to take it, well, I mean, how do I phrase it? Take it. Yeah. And let's see, extended essay. I believe we talk about topics. So it's not something that's like you should do in a week. I highly do not recommend it, but it's something that's supposed to like take, it's supposed to be it's also a reflective process. It's supposed to be a process where out of the 6 IB classes you would be taking by your junior year, senior year, you should be looking at things that you're interested in. What do I want to do in college? Do I want to do research with a professor, or do I want to analyze films, or do I want to like learn more about the human psychology? So, or do I want to look at specific historical case studies? So the extended essay just gives you that opportunity to like look at a subject, like for you to look at a subject or a class that you're really hyped up, interested in, like that one class that for some reason you don't fall asleep in, that kind of stuff. So for me, it was bio, because I was actually doing like a research project over my senior year with UCSD, and I figured, I can implement this experiment in my extended essay. So I did that. To be more specific, it's more, it's kind of technical, but it's more like just analyzing gene expression with like fruit flies, which is something that if you're in Miss Frank's class, like we can't really do it because of like ethical concerns and all that. So yeah, but yeah, that's how I thought about my process. Once again, what really drives you to write that extended essay? If you're a sophomore 2 years from now, if you're a freshman 3 years from now, is that it's that interest, like it's that drive, like, I love this topic. I want to learn more about it. It's that knowledge seeking process that like makes you want to, explore, and the extended essay like gives that opportunity to like put that into something that you can actually work on actively throughout the year. So yeah.
All right, so that I just put, we finished the slides, and if anybody is still listening, you want to jot down any of the contact information. All of the emails are at Vista USD, so actually you probably could figure out everybody else's email, but if you have specific questions about the honors program or the AP program or the IB program, you can email me, and I will get you, if I can't answer the question, I will get you to the right person, or I will find out the answer. Make sure you take the survey, and I don't really see if there's anything else. Otherwise, I think we are good. I want to thank all the students, both the alumni and I want to thank the alumni and the current seniors who came and participated. Let's see what's happening here.